I'm gonna do a little bit on the map, and then we will take a break. Okay?
I have one question.
Yes, absolutely, please.
Typically, if you're owning a car business or whatever it is, you notice we went through pretty sensitive information that
We
really
did.
want to get out anywhere. So if I own my own business and I host it myself, I need to make sure that that is what's called PCI compliant.
Okay,
Which
correct.
means that we promise that no one can get the sensitive information or we're liable. So how does that work with Adilas where it's not hosted by me?
Okay, so what happens is Adilas
Sorry.
we hear all sorts of funny languages.
You called me Tanya, I guess.
Oh, yeah. It's just a pronunciation, but it can be whatever. So what we do is we are PCI compliant, and then each person who uses us just uses us as a front end type thing for the PCI compliance. And
Can you do that for me? I don't have to think about it really.
Okay, you still have to make sure, you have to go in and say, I am PCI compliant, but I'm using Adilas as my kind of connector to my gateway. Okay, so what we do in Adilas to make this happen is right here, when Shannon did a Visa transaction, this is where it really deals with this credit card stuff. Okay, your customer information is customer information. Everybody has that. It still is potentially sensitive, but what they're worried about is, oh my goodness, what about credit card numbers, and what about this, and swiping, and all this kind of stuff. That's where PCI compliance stuff comes in. What we do for merchant processing, I'm going to take you to a different page just so you can kind of see some stuff, okay? I'm going to go to the chooser, and I'm going to go to the map, and I'm going to go to tools and maintenance, and I'm going to go to merchant processing information, just to kind of get you to a little level of what's going on, okay? So this is the thing that Tanya just barely asked. What is PCI compliance type stuff, okay? What it deals with is primarily with credit card transactions. So we are PCI compliant, and what we do to help you guys be PCI compliant is we don't store any of the credit card information on the actual database. The max that we store is when we pass it off to what's called the gateway. You literally have 3 different players here, okay? And I think that it would actually help if I went like this. You have player 1, player 2, and player 3, okay? And what happens is player 1, this is Adilas, we get the information, we get the credit card information if you're using us for your payment processing. If you're not, you can actually use your own, okay? Like say somebody just has a slide terminal, but they're using Adilas. Technically, Adilas wouldn't even care about your PCI compliance at that level. It's just if we're grabbing your credit card information and processing, then we have to be PCI compliant, okay? So we have the main person. This is your front end. This is where you get your stuff. You always throw it to a gateway, okay? The gateway, we have 5 different gateways that we technically can connect to right now. And I have 2 others on our tick list that will be probably coming in the next month, okay? So like, that's where the things actually get stored and processed and approved and all that kind of stuff. It's called the gateway. That's major, major security. Things have to be passed correctly and all that kind of stuff. Then what happens on the other end, the third player is your banking entity or the merchant piece, okay? So there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of banks, okay? And I'm not being able to put all of them, but basically what happens is Adilas sends it to the gateway, and then your bank pulls it out of it. So depending on which banks you have, it kind of creates this one-to-many. These are all banks. This is the gateway, and this is the front-end user, okay? What we do is we handle that transaction. We hand it off. They process it. We get a response back. We record the response, which is like a 5-digit approval code and a big, huge, long number that has a transaction ID number. It's literally being numeric on their end. Like, I did one, and even if I were to do one right away, there's 50 million other people around the world that are hitting that database. So it's gonna give me that correct number. So if I needed to, I could potentially look it up. The only other piece that we store, if we're swiping cards, is the last 4 of the card. We don't store anything else. We throw it all right here to this big spot right here called the gateway. Does that make a little bit of sense on how that works? Cool. And if I'm like barking up the wrong tree or like going like, oh brother, I don't know if I really wanted this information, let me know, okay? Because we can help you. But that was a great comment, okay? What I wanted to do was I wanted to show you what stock units are kind of attached to. And maybe what we'll do is we'll actually take a break, and then when we come back, we'll kind of revisit this a little bit, just so we can kind of get some things going, alrighty? So I will actually, let's go ahead and take a break right now.